Love memories are treasures that no amount of wealth can buy, and Sheikh Hamdan knew this truth more deeply than anyone else. For him, every shared smile, every whispered word, every stolen glance carried more value than gold and diamonds combined. He often said that wealth can fill your hands, but only love can fill your soul. When he looked back at the memories that had shaped his heart, he saw a richness that no crown could compare to, a richness born not from palaces and power, but from the moments he had truly lived, loved, and felt alive. In the grand halls of Dubai's royal palace, people often saw the glitter of chandeliers and the shine of jewels, but they could never see the memories that shone brighter in Sheikh Hamdan's mind. He remembered quiet evenings on the dunes, where the wind carried the scent of the desert and the sky was a blanket of stars. He remembered laughter that echoed longer than any banquet toast and embraces that warmed his heart more than any fire in the palace. These were the moments he could not measure in currency, because their worth was beyond calculation. Money could build empires, but it could never recreate the sound of someone you love saying your name with tenderness. Sheikh Hamdan often thought about how fleeting wealth could be, how fortunes could rise and fall, but love memories, once etched in the soul, were untouchable. They traveled with you through time, unaffected by loss, unshaken by the storms of life. No thief could steal them, no market could trade them, and no treasure chest could contain them. He knew people who had all the money in the world but lived with empty hearts. They sat in luxury, yet felt alone. They could buy paintings, but not the feeling of standing in the rain with someone you love, laughing like children. They could purchase rare perfumes, but not the scent of a beloved's hair in the morning sun. Sheikh Hamdan believed that to truly live was to collect these invisible jewels, moments of pure connection, because those would remain long after wealth had faded into dust. The Sheikh himself had lived enough to witness the truth of his words. He had seen palaces crumble in history books, kingdoms rise and fall, fortunes gained and lost, but the stories of love endured. They were passed from heart to heart, generation to generation, growing richer with time. He would rather have one beautiful memory of holding someone's hand under a starry sky than a vault full of gold that held no story, no warmth, no heartbeat. Every photograph, every letter, every memory for him was a living proof of life's true wealth. He would keep them close, not in a safe of steel but in the safe of his heart. Sometimes, he would close his eyes and replay those moments, her voice, the sparkle in her eyes, the comfort of her presence, and feel wealthier than any king who counted coins instead of blessings. For in those moments, time stood still, and love whispered, "You are home." Sheikh Hamdan's poetry often reflected this truth. In verses that the world adored, he wrote about love not as something fleeting, but as an eternal investment, one that appreciates with time, not depreciates. Money could be inherited, but memories had to be earned, created, and nurtured. A person who lived for love lived with riches that no market could crash and no recession could touch. Sometimes, when addressing the youth of Dubai, he would remind them gently, "Do not spend all your life chasing coins and forget to collect the moments that matter. For one day, you will find that your bank account is full, but your heart is bankrupt." His words were a call to balance, to value love as much as success, to understand that time spent with those we care about is never wasted, but time invested into the most secure currency on earth. In his own life, he made choices that reflected these values. He would pause royal duties to spend time with family, cancel grand events to be with a friend in need, and choose long, meaningful conversations over meaningless luxury. For him, a sunset walk with someone he loved was worth more than 1,000 luxury cars lined up in his garage. he also knew that love memories had the power to heal. On days when life felt heavy and the world seemed unkind, he would draw strength from those memories. A simple recollection of a shared laugh or a gentle touch could reignite hope in his heart. That was the magic of love. It was the only wealth that multiplied when shared, and the only fortune that could comfort a lonely night. When speaking to the world, Sheikh Hamdan urged people to see life as a collection of chapters, each holding a precious story. And in every story, the love we give and receive becomes the priceless ink that writes our legacy. Wealth can build monuments, but only love memories can make those monuments meaningful. Without them, even the tallest tower stands empty. As time passed, he understood something even deeper. The people in our memories may one day leave this world, but the love they leave behind becomes immortal. Money cannot preserve life, but love can preserve meaning. It lives on in our hearts, our words, and the way we treat others. That was why he cherished every chance to create moments worth remembering, because those moments were eternal. He often imagined the final day of his life, when the world would close its eyes to him. He knew he would not think of bank statements or royal titles then. Instead, he would remember the sound of laughter echoing in the desert wind, the warmth of arms around him on a cold night, the joy of seeing someone's eyes light up just because he walked into the room. Those memories would be the crown on his life's journey, and they would be worth more than all the treasures of the earth. And so, Sheikh Hamdan lived with the quiet conviction that love memories are more expensive than money, not because they are rare, but because they are irreplaceable. They cannot be minted, they cannot be forged, and they cannot be bought. They are earned by giving your heart, your time, and your truth to another soul. And when your life is full of them, you are the richest person in the world. Sheikh Hamdan often reflected on how the most treasured moments of his life were not the ones captured in the spotlight, but the ones hidden away from the public eye. The world saw the grandeur of his titles, his royal processions, and his official duties, but the true jewels of his heart were woven into the quiet minutes he spent with those who mattered most. These were the moments where laughter replaced formality, where a glance spoke louder than speeches, and where love proved itself richer than any crown. To him, such memories were living gold, polished not by wealth, but by sincerity. There were nights in the desert when the sky seemed endless, and the air was filled with the scent of warm sand and distant jasmine. He remembered sitting by the fire, sharing stories with someone whose presence turned the silence into music. No amount of wealth could recreate the raw beauty of that night, the way the stars leaned closer as if listening, the way her eyes mirrored the flames, the way the desert wind seemed to carry a blessing across the dunes. He kept those memories close, knowing they were the currency of the soul.